Next, we would like to talk about Trophic Cascade. This is defined as occurring when predators in a food web suppress the abundance or alter the behavior of their prey, thereby releasing the next lower trophic level from predation. As we mentioned, Yellowstone was established as our country's first national park in 1872. At that time, wolves were prominent in the area and in the park as well. They were, however, deemed a public nuisance and were hunted into their extinction. The last known wolf was killed in Yellowstone in 1926. By the end of the 20th century, the public perception and people's thinking had changed. There was a movement to reintroduce wolves into the park. Gray wolves were trapped in Canada, transported down to Yellowstone, and released in the Lamar Valley in 1995. Since wolves were reintroduced, the elk and the deer are stronger, the aspens and willows are healthier, and the grasses are taller. When wolves hunt elk, the elk have to run faster and farther, causing their hooves to aerate the soil, and this allows the grasses to grow taller. With the presence of wolves, elk are much less stationary than before. They tend to avoid the wide open valleys and stay more on the fringes of the forest. This keeps them from overgrazing aspen and willow shoots and allows the aspen and willow to fully recover between elk migrations. Within 6 years, some of the trees in the areas frequented by elk prior to wolf reintroduction, but now largely avoided by elk, saw their height quintuple. Once the aspen, willows, and cottonwoods retook the forest floors, birds started to return as well. With more trees, the beaver population increased. There was one documented beaver colony in Yellowstone in 2001. By 2011, there were 9. The dams built by the beavers provided habitat for muskrats, ducks, otters, fish, moose, and many different birds. In areas occupied by wolves in Yellowstone, the coyote population has been reduced drastically, in some cases by as much as 80%. With fewer coyotes hunting small rodents, raptors such as eagles and osprey have made a comeback. Grizzlies successfully steal wolf kills more often than not, providing more food for their cubs, thus making them healthier and more likely to survive. With more regenerating shrubs, there were also more berries for the bears to eat. The banks stabilized by the regenerating flora. Rivers began to meander less. The banks of the rivers collapsed less often and were much less susceptible to erosion. With the deer and the elk much less prominent in the valleys, there was less soil erosion as the sides of the valleys stabilized. All of this came from the reintroduction of wolves in 1995, thus perfectly illustrating the Trophic Cascade.